I got to tell you, I'm a little nervous about making these videos because I have always emphasized in every video I made for smallballsuccess.com and every blog post that I've made there that I am not a pitching authority. I'm just a guy who's trying to make suggestions. I'm experimenting. I don't even have my experimental field built here in my new digs. I'm working on the field back there. There's a lot of work yet to do. In the process of moving, I went at least 3 months without even picking up a baseball. So it's only been for the last 2 weeks or so that I've been kind of trying to get my 64-year-old arm back into shape. In the best of times, I'm not a guy who can show you all kinds of amazing pitching techniques. But if not me, then who? I mean, the whole point of smallballsuccess.com is that we're interested in the little guy, and the pitching establishment is not. If you're 5'5", 5'6", and maybe if you go to a small high school, you can try out and they'll perhaps let you do some mopping up during the season, but you're not going to pitch beyond that. No matter how well you do, you're never going to be taken seriously. So my method in looking into hitting, about which I feel I know a little more, has been from the start to look at how guys practiced the technique about 100 years ago, and I've been trying to apply some of that technique to studying pitching, since I find that actually a lot of people come to the website with an interest in pitching. I wish I had more that I could tell them. I wish I could say it with greater authority, but I'm trying. And in the near future, I hope I'm going to make a video where I give you some of the history and look at some of the actual pitchers for whom we have video from the 20s and 30s. And you'll see that lots and lots of guys, I mean, it looks to me like it could be well over 50%. We're throwing from about, you could call this 9 o'clock or 9:30. They're not submarining, and they're not even quite side arming, but they're not throwing like the pitchers of today from 11 o'clock or 10:30. And with that little bit of tip-off to start with from the old baseball cards and the old videos, I've been trying to, as I did with the swing, I've been trying to reconstruct the motion of some of these guys who, no, they were not all 5'6". It's not that guys 80, 100 years ago were that short, but I mean, especially if they were pitchers. Even back then, a tall guy had more success pitching than a short one. But they seemed to, maybe because they had to pitch more often and there was less tolerance of guys who got a sore arm. You didn't want to tell your manager if your arm was sore or you might be out of a job. So they just toughed their way through it. And it seems that pitching this way might actually be easier on the arm. Well, in this video, I'm going to make a complete fool of myself, even bigger fool than I usually am, by trying to show you something that I do when I warm up, and that is throw left-handed and right-handed. I've been throwing a little bit already, so you can tell that I'm immediately dropping down. And I've been missing left-handed all day. My L screen is only about 40 feet away, but I can't seem to hit it left-handed. But one thing I'm working on is I've already found out that I try to fling open my front arm and get going too fast with my front side when I throw left-handed. And so this arm is just dragging behind. So I'm really trying to get it all going with that front leg first and not even lift up the forward arm until after I've gotten that front leg going. I just, naturally right-handed, I do that. I don't even really need to think about it much. But left-handed, I have to have that in my mind. And again, I missed the target. And again, you know what? I got my arm up there too fast. Let me try that again. somewhat better. And I'm also, I don't know that that's even 9 o'clock. I feel like I'm dropping down a little too much. I'm probably overcompensating, because another good thing that I do right-handed is I kind of take that little hop and I get some, I'm already warmed up a bit, so I wouldn't do this if I were just starting to warm up, but I can get a little bit of a thrust as I drive off the rubber. I don't have as much balance off of that left leg. So it's almost kind of like I have that arm up there. I hope I don't fall. So let me see if I can just be more natural. And that wasn't bad, but again, I'm throwing, I think I'm throwing sidearm. I'm trying to get it up a little bit. Oh boy. Now, I'm sure that will show up on the video as a real stinker. It sure felt like one when I threw it. I'm sure you're going to find that, again, the front side is just taking over too fast, making a mess of things. Ooh, that felt good. That's another thing. It feels good when you're warming up. You don't really need a pitching coach to tell you when you do something right. It just feels good. Now, would you believe it? When I was warming up, I was at least hitting the L screen. Now that I got the cameras rolling, I can't even hit it right-handed. I had good movement though. The reason those are rising left-handed is because I'm getting down underneath them too much, and I'm trying to throw like a guy in 1930 who's a little bit on top of it. I can do that right-handed. I'm having trouble left. Well, look, that's enough for that demonstration. It's not like I'm going to, if I'm 18 years old, I doubt that I seriously believe that I'm going to try out for the team as this ambidextrous pitcher. Actually, the only reason I'm suggesting this is that it does kind of, I'm a big believer in stretching out those muscles on both sides equally. I think that gives you a better sense of balance. I just like the yin and the yang of doing the left-right thing. And that's good for hitting too. I don't think I would want to hit right-handed because I'm a much better left-handed swinger, but I like to try when I'm, loosening up or practicing, I like to try both. And the thing is about pitching too, is that, they say that if you really want to understand something, try teaching it. Your right side is kind of teaching your left side when you're loosening up from both sides. You're trying to throw left and you're thinking, now, how did I just do this from the other side? So your right side has to teach your left side the right way to do things. And what's going to happen is that you're going to figure stuff out consciously from the right side that you didn't even know that you were doing. And of course, it's good to know that in case you start getting into kind of a funk from the right side. Since you never really thought about it consciously, you don't know what you're doing wrong now. Well, let the right side teach the left side. Very occasionally, too, you'll find that something might come easier from the left side, and you think, wow, how did I just do that? And maybe the left side will turn around and teach the right side something. This is kind of symbiosis that can go on there if you just let it happen. So let it happen. Try it.